Gugu Zulu, I know we've got to stop just giving you VWs and Audis to test, but I thought this was very appropriate.
Funny enough, when I got the call from Ignition and they said, Gugu, we've got a car for you to test, I thought, yay, whoopee. And then they said it's a Beetle. And I'm like, oh, I pulled a short straw.
But why? It's hot, it's cute.
No, but you know what? If you think about it, the last generation, or should I say the new generation, the previous model,
Yeah.
I was really shattered, especially because it had a little vase in it and you had to put a flower. So to me, that was just flower power.
Yeah, a little bit girly. This definitely looks a lot more masculine.
The first generation new Beetle was all about nostalgia and of course played on that to win over buyers. The late 90s were all about retro, with the Mini also making a comeback and other manufacturers jumping on the flower power bandwagon. But we've moved on from that, so the second generation Bug is less about the past and more about sport.
It looks like the way a Beetle should have been from day one, actually.
Absolutely, it's much better than the first new Beetle. It's longer, it's wider. This particular model does actually have quite a bit of extra spec on it. The wheels are not standard, the mirrors are not standard, but it looks hot.
You know, even the tires as well, they actually fit the car. They make it look nice and butch.
And they work on the drive as well. How awesome is the car to drive?
I must say, I've really enjoyed it. Initially, I thought the 1.4 little engine might not be as up to power as I'd like it to be, but at 118 kilowatts, I think it's quite adequate. Good little push.
Yeah, it's the TSI that we all love, 250 newtons, and it goes really nicely. This model we've got's got a 6-speed manual gearbox, but you can get a 7-speed DSG, which you said you'd like.
Well, certainly I would like that. It's a little bit more engaging. It pretty much feels as if you're in some sort of a Formula One car wannabe. But then again, it is a Beetle. I just still wonder though, I mean, as a guy, it's a Beetle. And so? It's not, yes, it's a new platform. As you said, it's running on the Golf 6 platform.
Slightly shorter, yeah?
Slightly shorter. I don't know if I'm still, if I'd rather take either a Sirocco or a Golf.
Well, that brings us to the price. The extra stuff that we've got on our model, the sat-nav, the sunroof, the xenon lights, it does have a lot of spec, 50 grand's worth of extras, so with all the kit that we've got on it is 350.
Oof.
But standard for the 1.4 TSI 118 kilowatt model that we've got, it's 293,000 Rand.
A little bit costly indeed, but you know what, in that category you can still get a Golf GTI, I think, even at the prices with all the extras and everything.
You can. I think the thing with this, if you sit on the inside, the interior is lovely.
Oh yes.
And there is definitely a bit of a retro feel to it. The steering wheel is quite skinny and it's got that Beetle bin.
That little, glove compartment is pretty much the same from the original, Beetle, and I think that was a very nice touch. Even my dad, actually, when I took it to him, he's like, hey, this looks very familiar, considering that he's been through 5 Beetles.
Oh, really?
As he was growing up. So certainly, they were a little bit touched. My folks were rather saying, wow, this is quite nice. My mom felt that she could actually do with one of these, but I don't know.
It does have a Beetle feel inside, but it's still a Golf. They go on in the press release about it being totally unique inside. It's a Golf with a few Beetle bits.
But then again, everything, yes, it has to be pretty much familiar for the Golf driver. But at the same time,
Why?
Well, they're trying to keep things very simple. Further than that, the racing seats, I felt like they're bucket seats,
those are
very
standard.
but very supportive. But yeah, a little bit manual. We're kind of used to pressing a button nowadays.
What is with that spec? 350,000 Rand and you don't get auto seats and you also don't get auto lights.
It's okay, not even my girlfriend, she actually complained. She said she wanted the heated seats.
Yeah.
But I said to her, baby, we've got some room at least. Surprisingly, the Beetle has a lot of room.
That boot is good, hey?
It is very
decent
good.
Space there.
Last week we did the Momentum 94.7 and we actually fitted both our bikes inside the back after folding the seats down. And that was actually, for me, that was a bit of a surprise because I can't do that with my car, by the way.
But that's the thing. Instead of buying a Golf, you buy a Beetle if you want something a little bit more unique, that is very Golf-like, but just a little bit more different.
Yes, the Beetle is, as they've said, it's pretty much one of those classic designs. It's pretty much like a Coke bottle. It's been the same forever, and I think they've managed to retain it and brought it back into the 2012, which is the current date. And so for kids who are of this generation, they'll still identify it and say, hey, it looks like a Beetle, and it's exactly the same. I think for me, it's still the same shape, although it's got modern features on it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I would buy it if it was cheaper.
I wouldn't argue with that. You know, it's a bit too pricey for my liking, considering that you can get a Scirocco for that same price, a Golf GTI,
A
as
GTI,
well.
yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
so from the cost point of view, it's a little painful, but I guess it's the nostalgia that you're buying.